Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of Bobby Judo Cooks. Today we're going to be making a Greek-style moussaka. It's kind of like a pasta-less lasagna. It's got rich tomato sauce, juicy meat, and instead of noodles we're going to be using eggplant to make the layers. This is a dish that my wife and I had in Greece when we were traveling there. We loved it, we wanted to bring it back to Japan. Usually they use lamb, but we're going to be using a combination of ground beef and ground pork. So you should be able to make this a little more easily wherever you happen to live. There's actually a lot of things to do. We're going to attack this in 3 stages. The eggplant, the meat sauce, and then the bechamel sauce, which is going to be the topping. And then all of it has to go in the oven. A lot of steps, so let's get started.
Bobby Judo, YouTube, subscribe, etc. Yeah.
First, slice up your eggplant into slightly diagonal rounds. Next, we're going to use some olive oil. I'm using this flavored garlic oil to lightly coat a baking sheet. Line up your eggplant on top of the oil and then brush the opposite side with a little bit of extra oil. Put them in an oven at 180 degrees for 25 minutes. While I'm doing that, I'm going to prepare the meat sauce, again with some garlic oil in a frying pan, and I'll add some onions and stir fry until they're soft. Once they're soft, I'm going to add spices. Cinnamon, oregano, and garlic. Add to that some salt and pepper to taste. And stir fry until fragrance and the cinnamon coats the onions. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and add the meat. We want to cook the meat over a high heat until it gets thoroughly browned and a lot of the fat comes out. Once the fat has come out into the pan, you can either drain it or, easier, if you're very careful, you can take a paper towel and soak up the excess fat. Keeping this in will make your sauce a little bit too oily and a little bit too runny. Now we're going to add the tomatoes. And we're going to simmer slowly for about 20 to 30 minutes.
Now while that's simmering, the next thing we're going to work on is our bechamel sauce. This is a fairly basic sauce making technique, but it's actually pretty difficult. You have to kind of watch it at all times. Don't rush it, don't overheat it. We're going to start by melting this butter over a low heat.
Once the butter is completely melted, add the flour. At this point you have to stir constantly over a low heat until it forms a paste and make sure it doesn't brown.
You're going to keep stirring and add your milk in slowly. For this we're going to add our grated cheese. We're using Parmesan today because that's really the only kind of grated cheese you can get in Japan. We're going to add one more very Greek flavoring, nutmeg.
Once the sauce is done, you want to remove it from the heat and let it cool. To that, we're going to add 2 beaten eggs.
Whisk this in.
The sauce should be cool enough so that the eggs don't cook at all on contact. You want them to cook in the oven. Once you have all of your ingredients ready, the next thing to do is to layer them in a baking dish. First, we're going to make a layer of eggplant, followed by a layer of our well-simmered meat sauce, and then we're going to repeat the procedure. Top that with some more eggplant, top that with the rest of the meat sauce. Once that's done, it's time to pour on the bechamel.
And now that that's all done, we're going to put this back in the oven. Another 180 degrees for 30-45 minutes until the top gets nice and brown. That is time. Let's take a look at our moussaka. Wow! Perfect. The topping has baked up exactly how I wanted it to. Nice and thick and brown on top. Look at the oil bubbling inside. That looks good, man. Itadakimasu. The flavoring in that is just perfect. Oh man, the cinnamon and the nutmeg and the oregano. I can't recommend this one enough. Takes a little bit of time, but it's totally worth it. Definitely give this a try at home. If you have any other recipes you'd like to see me try, hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, come back next week. I think we'll do Italian next week. God damn.